Hi everyone, my name is Allison Lucchese. I'm an associate marriage and family therapist here at Embracing You Therapy. For today's video, I wanted to shed some light on a specific subtype of OCD known as Sexual Orientation OCD. So in this video, I'll be addressing some of the symptoms, I'll be addressing some of the common compulsions, as well as addressing some of the myths surrounding sexual orientation OCD. So at the core, sexual orientation OCD is the feeling of being stuck in obsessive doubt surrounding sexual identity. So again, some of the symptoms are compulsively rechecking your thoughts and creating rituals to combat these thoughts. Another symptom is engaging in OCD rituals in other mediums as a way of regulating the feelings of doubt and the feelings of uncertainty. So how does this begin to look like in terms of compulsions? So some very common compulsions are mental compulsions, mental rumination, reassurance seeking from family and friends, avoidance, so avoiding going to a specific bar, avoiding certain conversations regarding sexual orientation, books, media, the list can go on and on. Another compulsion is repetition of actions or phrases to combat the fear, to combat the intrusive thoughts. So to further elaborate, the problem comes in being unable to distinguish truth from a passing thought. So an example would be, say you have a dream of a person, and this could technically be two examples in one. Say you have a dream of a person of the same sex and a person of the opposite sex, depending on how you identify. And say that in this dream you conclude you have feelings for this person, which contradicts the sexual orientation that you identify with. So a person with sexual orientation OCD would not be able to move on from this dream. They will begin to ruminate, seek reassurance, check for arousal. And so with people that are dealing with sexual orientation OCD, a fleeting thought of attraction can set off a cascade of doubt and terror that is not experienced by most people. Most people would dismiss the dream example as just a thought, nothing else. So here's where I'd like to also address some of the common myths surrounding this subtype of OCD. So the first one is sexual arousal and sexual orientation are the same thing. So sexual arousal in any sexual situation is normal. It is not true that becoming aroused at a thought of being gay means you're gay, and vice versa with heterosexuality. Another myth that is very common is that anxiety and sexual arousal are the same thing. Anxiety and sexual arousal share common features, mainly increased heart rate, mainly the common thinking of the thoughts that occur when someone is aroused. So if you are actually anxious when these thoughts occur, but you make the mistake that the elevation for arousal, or that the elevation for arousal, your fears become more deeply ingrained. So just to reiterate that and summarize that instead of making things confusing, if you're anxious but you're confusing that for arousal, then that fear just gets way more deeply ingrained. So compulsions will definitely increase. And then the third myth that I would like to discuss and address is that you definitely are the orientation you fear, and the opposite, you definitely are not the orientation you fear. It is not black and white. The short answer would be no. So you can fear that you are gay and be straight, and vice versa. For the second piece of you definitely are not the orientation you fear, the thinking that is a part of sexual orientation OCD does not mean a person is homophobic, nor does it involve denial of one's actual sexual identity. So with everything that we just discussed, that I just discussed in this video, very natural for anyone to have more questions regarding this topic. Sexual orientation OCD actually is not super common. I think for people who have been diagnosed with OCD, maybe it's about 12% of the population who genuinely struggles with this. If you have any more questions regarding this topic, please feel free to give our office a phone call, leave us a comment down below, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we'd be more than happy to help answer any questions you may have. Hope you all have a wonderful day.